Okay, your TI-84 is actually able to help you create histograms. And to do what you first have to do is enter your data in a list. So you might actually have a frequency table or just a list. I'm going to focus on a list right now. So you're going to press Stat, which is over here, and then you're going to stay on the edit screen. So I'm going to hit play so you can see how that goes. See here I press Stat and then hit enter for the edit, and or just enter, and then basically scroll to list 1, usually list 1, and I'm entering a couple of the data points that you see on your notes right now. Now, if you have a frequency table, you can also enter on this side the frequencies associated with this number. So you can do that, and then this 6 right here basically shows you how many point numbers you have in your list. The next part is graphing it. So we're going to press second stat plot and make sure that plot 1 is on, and then we're going to choose a histogram. And I'll probably have to pause here. So second stat plot, choose plot 1 and press enter. All right. Second stat plot, press enter for plot 1, and then you can scroll through, and I'm going to go ahead and let it go to the third icon. So you want the third icon right there. For the X list, press second list if for the X list if you need to change the list of values. Since we entered our data in list 1, we won't need to. Now you see a Y list here, but once I hit enter for that histogram, then you see how it changes right here. The frequency is 1. All right. So for a list of data, this frequency is 1. Now, if you do have a frequency list in the table, you're going to press second list to select the list for that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to press graph to see the histogram. So watch, graph is over here. And you can see the histogram. Now you'll probably want to zoom and go down to 9 and press zoom stat. You can either press 9 or scroll and hit enter. And there you have your histogram with automated settings from the TI-84. So it's not necessarily the histogram you actually want to graph. You probably want to make some tweaks to it based on what we learned before. You could use this as a rough graph and it could be okay. All right, so next part is we want to adjust the histogram. So we're going to press this button called window, and we'll see a bunch of options here. All right, so X min right here is where the first interval starts. X max shows the range or the maximum for your data. Not necessarily your data maximum, but the maximum on the graph. This SCL is actually the interval width. And you can see that's different from what we had before. So I'm going to probably want to make that 0, make that 5 so it matches what we did in our notes. I'm actually using the data from the shoes example in the notes. And you might, if you adjust this width, especially if you make it smaller, you might need to make this Y max higher, all right, depending on how tall the bars get. And then go ahead, and then what you'll do is you'll press graph for that after you make the adjustment. So there's 0, there's 5, and then we come down, everything looks pretty good, so we can hit graph. And then basically if you can use the trace button, as you can see, and then the arrow keys to move through and see the different values for the different bars.